We like to think we're in control, but 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli revealed the dark truth about human nature. Here are 7 facts you need to know to protect yourself. Fact 1. Love bombing. A manipulator's generosity is an investment, not kindness. They overwhelm you with affection just to create a psychological hook. Fact 2. Trauma bonding. They cycle between explosive anger and relief. You aren't in love, you're chemically addicted to the emotional roller coaster. Fact 3. The mask. Covert manipulators hide behind victimhood. They use pity plays to hijack your empathy and drain your resources undetected. Fact 4. Triangulation. They introduce a third person to spark jealousy or suspicion, ensuring you never unite against the puppet master. Fact 5. Weaponized secrets. They share a fake vulnerability to trigger reciprocity. You give them your truth, they turn it into ammunition. Fact 6. Gaslighting. They deny your reality until you doubt your own sanity. By controlling the narrative, they gain ultimate psychological control. Fact 7. The discard. To them, you're just a tool. When you're no longer useful, they drop you. But now you see the game. Knowledge is your armor. Stay sharp.